Blitzers, Nerf Clan, welcome back to the channel. Reviewing the E75 TS today, tank that you can get through grinding your Masteries. I am 135 out of 415, although I know some in the clan have already received it and some of you probably already have it. So the question is this tank worth it? Well, my answer to you early on is definitely worth the grind. I would strongly encourage you to get the tank. All right, now looking at the parameters of the E75, this is on the left is my standard configuration. Feel free to make any changes, of course. I'll talk about some of the differences. I do recommend looking at the overall hit points are strong. The view range of this tank are great. In terms of DPM, I do calibrate. I would use a rammer. I would not calibrate with this tank. 2345 is excellent DPM. You can maximize that. Pramo pen or Pramo DPM is 1967, which is also excellent. The pen on the tank 215 is fine. It's not great. It's probably a slight weakness to the tank. The Alpha 310 is right. Is the same as many others. The velocity is okay, 1235 when you supercharge. I strongly encourage supercharge. And obviously you're shooting 105 caliber, so that's kind of how things are gonna go. Aim time, dispersion, and dispersion movement are all very good. Some of the best. I think a .289 dispersion is fantastic. The louver is a little bit better, but that's about it. And dispersion factors of moving are good. The angles are fantastic. You have a -10 plus 20. I gotta love that. The tank's heavy. It's 85 tons. Should be a good rammer, but it's not terribly fast. However, its forward speed does get you to 38. Its power to weight is relatively low at 10, which is a little bit lower than the rest of the comparators, which I will show quickly. As you see, the big screens at the side make this tank unique. The side armor is still, even screens aside, pretty good. There are some lower spots, but in general, if you go higher up, it's in the 130s. And you will not be HE'd, obviously, in the sides, almost anywhere in the tank. In terms of its lower plate, the lower plate head-on, you're in the high 100s, 190 range. Angled, the lower plate's quite strong, and the upper plate's impenetrable. The upper plate of this tank is fantastic. Already straight on, it's 300 because of that strong slope. If you are sloped down on a hill, you're not going to pen the front, and it's going to be very difficult to pen the sides as well. You can get if you have a really good cannon, you can get the driving wheel, but that's not going to be an easy shot. The cheeks, however, are pennable. If you look at the cheeks, even up or down, the cheeks are going to be about 240 or so. And you can get to those with Pramo. Your own Pramo is a good example. The only thing is the cheeks are relatively small. I didn't buy the tank originally because of the sides of the turret. However, the turret sides are appropriately armored. So when angled, you're not going to be able to easily pen the turret. That's going to be a pretty difficult shot for the most part. And it's got a very small hatch. From the side, you can pen the hatch, but why would you shoot the hatch from the side? The rear is actually at around 100, which means you should not be HE by pretty much any tank. Let's compare how the tank looks now. You know, is this the king of tier 8? Well, tier 8 heavies, there are some really good tanks there. I've included the Louver, the Tiger II, 100P, and also the Shark. The king is not the king, but I think it competes very, very well. Again, I mentioned the penetration is the lowest of the 5, but the DPM is the highest. And if you look a little bit closer, you can see that the aim time and dispersion means it's a German cannon. It's very accurate, in line with the Louver. But it's got a -10 gun depression, which is better, and it's got a better turret, I believe, overall than the Louver, so that gives it some advantages. Its power to weight is a little bit on the low side, even lower than the VK100, but its top speed is 38, which is good. The VK100 is topped at 20, so it's going to be somewhat mobile, but not as mobile as a Shark or something quite like that. The win rates, the tank's relatively new, or not used a lot, I should say. Not a ton of players, but the win rate is higher than all of the tanks except the Shark thus far. Let's jump into some replays and see how people use it. So 2 replays. First is the Himmelsdorf, driven by Mike Hawk. Mike Hawk, aka Gent, is driving this beast in Himmelsdorf. And the second replays actually are fantastic as well. Both are over 5K damage, so stick around, watch these. Starting with Gent. Gent goes to the decap, I guess, of Himmelsdorf. That's what I'll call it. And I love the position Gent immediately takes behind that mound. You know somebody's going to pop out there. Right away, the Louver from the opposite team comes there. And I guess you could see the .289 dispersion come into play there. Gent had that thing focused right in. Pops a hole in there. That shot does bounce. That was an unfortunate bounce. SP1C pushes Gent. I have no idea what that guy is doing, and he was lucky not to get HE'd on the... HE'd there. Gent quickly takes an opportunistic shot on the T29, and you can see that he is using this tank front line. He's holding this mound, jiggling a little bit because he doesn't want to get shot in the turret. But you can see you're shooting a very accurate tank, and the -10 helps you because you can just get over certain parts of that hill that keep the rest of the attack protected. The louver over there is still trying to figure out what to do here with Gent. Gent pops him in the drive wheel, doesn't actually get any damage with that, but then decides to go ahead and move up to help the rest of his teammates who are pushing pretty hard here. He pops the T-29 in the side of the turret, no problem there. And again, look at the use of the gun depression here. Allows you to use that mount. He does take a shot 302. That might have been Pramo from the Lao or louver. It may not have been, unsure there. And there's some mobility. I mean, this tank does move, just not too terribly fast. Again, I would compare the mobility to the louvers overall. And if you've driven that tank, you know it does move. It sometimes surprises you, actually, that it moves so well. But it's not a fast tank. Now, he's got another E75 across the way there. And I really want you to guys watch. That was a brilliant move by Gent. He hugged the other louver just to protect himself and to get that shot. It was a brilliant little play. You're watching a super unit come, and I think there's always a lot of tips to follow when observing that. Now, notice when you're looking at the other E75, you can definitely pent the front plate with Pramo, no problem. But Gent chooses a more sure shot without any angle, which are the cheeks. He gets that guy to 1 hit point and lets his teammate finish him, which is a very unselfish play there because he wants to protect himself from taking shots from this J Panther. Gent's down to 476. The alpha of the J Panther is about 300. You don't want to take more of that because you're pretty much become a one-shot. Gent is able to protect his HP and fire some more shots off. However, it's a 3-on-4, and he is getting flanked massively with the SP1C and the J Panther. J Panthers used to be a little bit of a joke. You could beat them up with heavies. They have been buffed in the front armor quite nicely. So nowadays, you just simply can't just run up and blow them out of the sky, kind of like you used to. Gent does take a shot. I think that's from the SP1C, but clears the J Panther. There is the SP1C trying to get another shot on Gent. He taps him, doesn't ram him, which I guess is smart. Gets HE'd in the side, runs away. That's some brilliant play there by that guy. But Gent survives that attack by the wild SP1C. It's 3-on-3 right now. The SP1C is a low shot, but you can see that T49 is nearly full health. And the T49 can't easily HE this tank, but he could shoot him from a lot of places and clear him. So Gent decides to go ahead and get some shots on that T26E4. And he is at the same time relying on his IS to clear him, which was a very fortunate there. It's now a 2-on-2. There comes the T29. Gent pops him with AP max roll for 388. And he's pushing on him. He's already at 4,000 damage. Gets an HE shot in the turret. Beautiful shot there. That was probably a game changer. And you see the SP1C, who's a very low shot, is coming up. Gent gets one more shot into him as he rounds that turn. Takes a shot there, and he was really fortunate to survive that shot from the SP1C. I don't recall the SP1C alpha right now, but I thought it was higher than that, around 200 or so. But he survived that. He's down to 69, pun intended, hit points. And he is now going to charge this T49, who clearly is not a great player. He should have cleared Gent about 4 minutes ago, maybe 3, maybe 2. But nonetheless, Gent waits for him, pops him on the go. Beautiful shot, 5,054 damage. And notice just Gent using, and three kills as well. Notice how he used the tank to its mightiest use, using the hills, using the gun depression, really working this tank overall. I hope that gives you a flavor of the mobility of the tank, as well as its ability to kind of go between one spot or another. The next game we have is from a new YouTuber. This is from Yukon BetaFish, and we are playing in Vineyards. And BetaFish here plays this tank a little bit differently. He is going to go hull down in cap and just demonstrate that this tank can go hull down hardcore. And I love this because this is the #1 North America damage game on BlitzStars, and it just happened I think a week ago or so. So congratulations to BetaFish on getting the #1 spot in North America. Quickly in Vineyards, BetaFish takes this hull down position, which I love to take with a variety of tank like the T-34, the Shark, etc. You see him wiggle his turret there. Very nice move. He's shooting a 59 pattern, which has actually very terrible pen on the AP, but pretty high pen on its heat. And what he was trying to do is wiggle the shot and not get penned in the turret. Unfortunately, he did, and he's trying to shoot the hatch, the tumor, I would actually say, of that 59 patent. But so far hasn't been able to. He will get one here soon. But so BetaFish is slowly moving up, trying to work the gun depression on this tank, and they're shooting the hatch of that 59 patent. I believe the 59 patent hatch did get buffed not too long ago. It's now reasonable. It used to be a fun thing to shoot. But there's a 5100 that is fun to shoot as well. And that 5100 is totally out of position, which gives BetaFish an opportunity. And he's got that barrel there. I think the guy thinks the barrel protects him. just to be crystal clear, that barrel does not protect you. It would against HE, but that's it. There's the hatch. Nice shot into the 59 patent, demonstrating the dispersion of the tank. And there's a Tiger II, and have a look at the Tiger II. I mean, we all know the front of the King Tiger these days is very difficult to pen, but the sides are certainly no problem for this tank. We're going for another hatch shot, another 299 roll on the hatch. And it's a one-on-one game. This game is still well within the control. It will not remain that way. In fact, I thought I was curious how he gets so much damage here because they seem to have it well in control, but things do change. Bounce on the turret of the Tiger II. No surprise there. I mean, the AP pen of the tank is going to mean that you're going to have to shoot a lot of pramo on other heavies. And there goes BetaFish doing exactly that. He switches to APCR, pounds him, and lands a shot. And there's an opportunistic play here with the AMX 5100. Unfortunately, I don't know where that shot went. It looked to me like it went right through the tank. Probably heard that, but nonetheless, a teammate clears him. So it is now, they actually in the lead, 5 on 4. There is the RU-251. Nice shot by BetaFish there. And the problem is, you can notice that the enemy is actually rotated very effectively. There's a Type 62 rushing. Type 62 is going to present a challenge, and so would the RU to this tank, because the turret rotation speed is not great. And so you could be in a position where you can get COD'd relatively well if you're out in the open. Now, of course, if you can rotate with the turret, normally I think this tank is going to be fast enough to avoid that, but this super fast tanks, and hopefully you can back up against a rock or something. There is the Tiger II. Not going to pen that in the front. Beautiful drive wheel shot there using AP of all things. And then the Tiger is a one-shot, and again, the lower plate's exposed, beautiful shot there. It's now a 3-on-3. So, and I watched this, I thought things were going pretty well here at this point, but they tend to get messy. That was a beautiful shot on that RU that clears him and makes it a 2-on-2. So you still have, you still have a heavy and a light. In the IS-3 has really made no appearance so far, but there is the other RU-251, and Beta smacks him with HE. Unfortunately, does not get full pen. Looks like it hit the track. So the RU is still a little bit of a problem, and he's trying to get this shot to land, but he cannot. And there comes our village idiot, the IS-3. So this guy's camped the entire game. Clearly, I think his players even say that. This did not check the stats on this IS, but I can tell you played a pretty good game. The IS shoots the RU and clears him, so it's a 2-on-1 at this point. But this IS-3 is full health, just completely full health. I think a lot of complaints here, so he was hiding. However, I will say he had a chance where he could have gotten them because both of them are relatively low health. In fact, if I were him, I would have turned all my attention to BetaFish and cleared him, and then you had a pretty easy time face-hugging that IS. But this guy is not good. The IS also does a really good job of confusing him and pushing him, etc. And so it gives BetaFish just plenty of opportunity. It is a 1-on-1. As you notice, he still has more hit points before that than BetaFish, but now they are essentially even, and I think BetaFish here realized this guy is easy to pen. And I think you see the angle here. I mean, this tank, the -10 just is so helpful when fighting other tanks. He's covering his lower plate using the IS's corpse, and he's already got this guy down to a one-shot. Keeps on an APCR, which is impressive because the IS-3 does have some wonky armor, and clears him. So there for you, ladies and gentlemen, is the #1 North American game. Congratulations, BetaFish. Welcome to Nerf channel. 3 kills as well, 1637 base AP. Pretty much killed everyone. So good luck, good hunting. Get your MC3s and get this tank. I think it's worth it. And please do subscribe to our channel.